red pen, a single word in the margin, wow, and a string of symbols, 6EQUJ5. The most famous line ever printed by a telescope still defies certainty. In the late 1970s, Ohio State University's Big Ear radio telescope scanned for narrowband beacons near the hydrogen line. The fixed, giant instrument had been repurposed for a volunteer SETI survey after federal support waned. Its receiver and computer translated intensity into letters and numbers on printouts. Late on the night of the 15th of August, 1977, Big Ear recorded something extraordinary from the direction of Sagittarius. Days later, volunteer astronomer Jerry Ehman sifted the stack at home. One entry towered above the noise, a tidy spike that lasted as long as the telescope's beam took to drift across a point in the sky, 72 seconds, and then was gone. He circled the code and wrote, "Wow." The exclamation stuck. The signal had a name. The team searched for it again. Big Ear rescanned the same patch many times. Other observatories listened. Nothing returned. The signal appeared in only one of Big Ear's 2 feed horns, offering no instant cross-check. It was exquisitely narrow in frequency, far stronger than the background, and it did not behave like common terrestrial interference. Then, for decades, nothing like it was heard again. From the start, the scientists were careful. They considered aircraft, radar, satellites, and local electronics, and could not reproduce the event. They weighed natural sources, but few produced such a needle-thin spike near 1420 megahertz. Ehman set the tone of restraint. "I can speculate, but there's nothing to back it up." The conclusion was candid and unsatisfying. The source remained unknown. Ideas rose and fell. The survey continued through the 1980s and 90s, while Big Ear cataloged the sky and eventually was dismantled. In 2017, a proposal suggested a comet's hydrogen cloud could account for the signal. The notion drew headlines, but critics noted that known comet emissions are broad, not razor-thin. Ehman publicly doubted the match, and the hypothesis failed to persuade most researchers. More recently, scientists revisited archival data and proposed a different natural pathway. They noticed weaker, wow-like bursts from hydrogen clouds and argued that a rare outburst, perhaps a magnetar flaring and pumping energy into cold gas, might briefly amplify emission at the hydrogen line, acting like a cosmic masser. It is an elegant idea, but still a hypothesis. There is no direct record of such a flare at that spot and time, and the explanation awaits further tests. What made the WOW signal compelling was not only its strength, but its behavior. It rose and fell as a point source would, while Earth's rotation carried Big Ear's beam past, and it ended exactly when the geometry demanded. That profile fit the sky, not the ground. Yet the lack of a repeat is a brick wall for certainty. With one event, there is no spectrum to compare, no triangulation, and no way to separate an intelligent transmitter from an uncommon natural burst with confidence. The signal's legacy proved easier to measure than its origin. It pushed SETI towards stricter protocols, simultaneous beams, better logging of interference, and rapid automated reobservations of candidates. It helped canonize the hydrogen line as a sensible hailing frequency. It seeded public imagination with a rare artifact, the circled printout, that classrooms still use to show how discovery can begin not with a speech, but with a note in the margins. Today, far more capable programs listen across billions of channels, from arrays that can sweep and revisit a target within seconds. Private efforts monitor the sky and publish their data. Even with that reach, nothing unambiguous has replaced that old spike from 1977. The balance of opinion now wavers between an extraordinary natural flare and a fleeting artificial beacon we were lucky to catch once. The honest answer, then and now, is uncertainty. The WOW signal lived for 72 seconds on paper and for decades in debate. It reminded scientists to keep an open mind and a firm standard of proof. And it left the rest of us with a question as simple as Ehman's note. If this was not us, who or what whispered across the hydrogen line that summer night. If you liked what you watched, please like and subscribe. We post interesting and crazy stories from throughout history every Wednesday and Saturday. Yesterday's craziness, because yesterday was crazy too.